Hello, live from the garage, Lady Lake, Florida. Chris is sitting over here off camera, running the show. Bryce is gonna be my runner assistant today. You didn't know that?
What?
Like when I need paint, I'm gonna have you go fill up my little paint, little
Test
jugs
one,
here.
two.
So we're doing the rear suspension on the Civic, and I ran in, said, Waba, we gotta go, let's go, I'm ready to go. I did the other side first, and he's like, well, you've got about 8 minutes to the podcast. I'm like, crap, I don't want to frickin' do a podcast right now, and so we're gonna do a live stream instead. So how's it going, Chris? You doing all right?
Doing much better today. I'm good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take the caliper off. And we also learned, unfortunately, that the rotor, I'm gonna have to reuse the factory rotor because the spoon rotor's too big. You can't, it doesn't work, doesn't fit. So, sad times, but we're gonna paint the caliper, change the coilover, put new pads, new brake lines, new subframe brace, new sway bar, new lower control arms, new camber toe arm thingy, and then the rear side. So the front I'm waiting on. I got the toe arms are no good, so those reverse mount toe arms aren't. You can't get the toe even close because I mean they're really designed for super low cars. And I don't really plan on going that low, so I like low, but not super duper low. So moving this little cover. They're going to take the caliper off and get a coat of paint, get a coat of primer on that. We'll pull out the pads first. I'll pull out the pads, drive the piston back in. So pull that off. We're going to clean all this stuff up too. So that piece will go back on. And then we've got 12 or 14 millimeter bolts in the back here. Yeah, 14s. So unfortunately, I mean, Willwood makes a kit for this, but I don't want some janky Willwood brakes on my car, so. Wait, does that tighten? Nope. So the e-brake has you have this weird cable-driven e-brake on these cars, so you can't, no one makes a brake kit. So we have the spoon, I guess they're 4 piston, right?
Spoons.
Yeah.
4 pot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. 2 on the front, 2 on the back. I always get that confused.
Or are they 6? Wait.
No, they're 4.
Okay, because they have like this lump here. Okay, yeah.
No. And that would be the advantage of doing the 5-lug conversion. Just the reason why I didn't do a 5-lug conversion is you can't like buy a new 5-lug kit. I just didn't want to deal with some old junk.
I got a question for you here, Matt.
What you got?
So you got 3 blue cars now.
Yep.
Which of the blues is your favorite hue or your favorite shade of the blues?
This one. Yeah, this one is just blue. I need to do. Yeah, this is the best color, I think. You see, I got my carbon fiber hood. It's pretty janky.
There's a question about that as well. Let me get to it here. Was it poor shipping or was it just built poorly? What do you think of the scratches?
All the above.
All of it?
It has, a crappy finish, which most carbon fiber stuff does. So it's a crappy finish, has the fit is okay, but like the edges just aren't great.
Probably resin.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't have like all the holes like for the weather stripping and all that stuff that it should. It's not Mugen quality. Like the Mugen hood on the S2000 is insane. It's perfect. This one, not great.
Track spec.
So what we're gonna do is when I send it down to get this dent fixed here, and the fenders rolled a little more, to Michael Good at the dent company in Tampa, I'll have Ryan from Auto Paint Guard do just put PPF on it, and there's some deep scratches that aren't coming out. Even if I sanded it, they still weren't gonna come out, and so the PPF will cover it up. So I polished the crap out of it.
You actually need me here, or can I do proper work?
Yeah, I don't need you. Get out of here, Bryce.
Is there any? We have a question, will there be any rage polishing today, or is this the...
Yeah, no. There might be rage brake installation, but...
We got a super chat here from Thomas.
Ooh, I like that.
$4.99. Any estimated time on when the Flex PXE80 will be back in stock? Yes, as soon as we get them. I don't have an exact ETA, Thomas, I'm sorry. But hopefully the next week or two.
I didn't know we were sold out of them.
Blend Mount wants to know, are you going to have a blend mount for the Civic there, Matt?
I thought he said it doesn't work. Oh. I thought he said you don't have a blend mount.
Oh, he says, sorry, no mount for the Civic. You're right, I thought he was asking. All right, Kevin asked a good question here, because I think I know the answer. I know you're getting some content out for your little Honda bros, but when should we expect some real man Mustang videos like Jeff's suspension?
When is that coming out, Mike?
This weekend, I saw it's in there, yeah.
Yeah, so we did all like the control arms and other weird arms, the Mustang arms. They got some weird names for, like...
It's like an octopus.
Yeah, and then they call it it's like a selling point that it has an IRL. I was cracking up. It has an independent rear suspension. Like, that's a big selling point. I thought that was like a prerequisite. So you'd have an independent rear suspension automatically. Apparently in Mustang world, that's like a big thing.
Hey, Thomas asked another question here on Facebook. So when you use the Flex polishers, which speed settings do you use?
On the XFE 15, speed 6 all the way. And then on the PXE80, speed 3 is what I generally use. Sad, I would have bought new rotors had I known that the spoon ones weren't going to fit. The diameter, it's too big, and so then the caliper doesn't fit. So I'm going to do a couple of whacks on here. We'll be putting this back on. I'm sure they're probably the original rear rotors, but they, I don't think these are very heavily rear brake biased. So I think we're safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the pads out. I want to get a coat of primer on this. It didn't take me much longer. The rear is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm cheating a little bit here, and then I did the rear on the other side already, so it seems like I know what I'm doing. But it didn't take me much longer to do that side than it will this one.
All right, I'll address a couple of things here in the chat. So Obsessed Mobile Detailing says our blue Prolock cords still 12 weeks out. They ship on the 29th. So they ship out on Tuesday of next week. And that means we'll have them here hopefully either the end of next week or the following week. They're coming from California. Could you guys move those towels? Why would we move the towels? Are the towels in the way?
That was last week.
No, I missed it.
It was last week. Everybody was flipping out that we had a towel that was kind of blocking the view.
All right, Jojo wants to know the status on Nussbaum lifts.
When is my lift? Isn't it coming here shortly?
Yep, it's supposed to be on the way here. Emmanuel's shipped and should be to him already. All right, that's our garage giveaway winner. He got the first one actually.
So now I have a Sonic brake, whatever you call this thing, brake piston tool And so you can see the piston up in here. You need to turn it back in. You probably don't need a special tool for this, but
Are you going to get, Matt, the SI rear lip and or third brake light?
no third brake light. Matt from ICB said he might have one. I need to call him, see if he has the rear lip. So you got to turn this back in. Hope I'm not shooting brake fluid all up into the reservoir.
James wants to know if we can show before and after pictures of the GT wing risers. Did we get any of those to show the difference?
On Flickr, they're up there. It should be good.
Mike says, hey Matt and Chris, I saw ICB has spoon carbon side mirrors for this Civic.
Yeah, I already ordered them. But it's everybody. You have to remember that, like, just because its website says it has it doesn't mean they have it. You know?
That is true.
People are like, oh, just go to Vivid Racing. They've got the spoon. Well, no. That means they're going to order it, and you're going to get it in 16 months. But I think Matt does have them. I haven't gotten an email telling me that he didn't. So if it's any quality like the quality of the darn hood, we're not in for a fun time here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just kind of clean this up. You guys are going to lose your crap about my how I'm going to do this. But I really don't want to take this darn e-brake off. It's such a pain. So I'm leaving it on the car, just using some carb cleaner. I'm doing an old spray down. Just to clean them up. And we're going to just put a little primer on them. Call it a day. Shoot. You ever paint your calipers, Chris?
No.
Whatever you do, people, don't paint your freaking tiny little rear calipers red or purple or pink or something stupid. Just paint them black. We want to hide them. Don't paint them red. Don't be a Corvette guy.
If I was going to paint them, I would paint them to match the body color of my truck. How about that?
No. Don't do that either.
That'd be awesome.
You don't want to like advertise that you got crappy little brakes. You want to make them disappear. Right? Am I right? Am I crazy here?
I'm not up on my brake etiquette. I'm not sure.
Apparently that's another one of my golden rules. It's like rule number 7. Don't paint your freaking stock calipers. Don't paint them bright red.
See, Team Brahma's with me here. Did it to his truck. That's my kind of guy. All right, let's see. What's up next in terms of a wash and talk video? Do you have any planned? Which car might it be?
I don't know. Wash and drive series will be starting soon.
Oh, yeah. That's where you're going to do other people's vehicles?
Correct. So we'll have... I got to run outside real fast. So you're going to have to carry the entertainment here, Chris.
Been doing it for years.
So what I'm going to do is take some paint and just spray it in a cup because I don't want to get overspray all over the place. But the best thing to do would be to remove your caliper, take it outside, and do it that way. But what I'm going to do is get paint everywhere. I'm going to go fill this cup up with some paint, or just a little bit. Not fill it up.
All right, let's see. We have hello from France. We can probably still hear Matt as he's gone. That should be good, too. France, Canada, UK checking in. That's awesome. Let's see if there's any questions on here. Ooh, here we go. What are the OG shorts? This is from Gav Details on Instagram. Pockets and belt loops, but look pretty comfortable for daily tasks. Gavin from Illinois. So Gavin, I call these my Friday shorts right here. Travis Matthew. They're actually in Maddie's price range because they're like $85 for one pair of shorts.
Yeah,
But
you see Matt in some of these,
super
though?
comfortable. No, I don't want to see Matt in
in some of these.
anything like that.
They're stretchy though, bro. Do you guys want to see Matt in some of these?
No.
I would die.
Matt would
literally
die. Matt would die first of loss of blood flow
So tight.
to his extremities.
What do you think?
Hate to see that.
What are you
Hey
talking
Dan,
about?
good to be back. Yeah, I was hurting for the past week or so, but I'm back now. Jeff's Mustang wash and drive? No, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Any Heartland updates to speak of? Are you watching it now for like the 4th time, or what's the latest?
No, I'm like in season 8 of the 3rd go around. I got sidetracked because Michelle got into Yellowstone, so I had to go back and rewatch that with her. So this is just some Rust-Oleum, whatever you call it, primer. So we'll prime this and then come back and put a couple of coats, 2 or 3 coats of black.
While you're doing that, H. Nichols has a good question here for you.
What's that?
Why are you painting the OE calipers and not upgrading?
Because they don't make them. Didn't I just say that?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Maybe he wasn't here yet. You weren't listening either?
Nope.
Apparently he wasn't. Nobody makes them. I'd be all over it.
Let's see. Do you have any best practices for mounting the Mosmatic wand holder to a stud wall?
No, that should be pretty simple. I mean, just as long as you catch, because the stud's going to be a little narrow, right? Narrower. So just as long as you catch one side, then the other ones I would put drywall anchors in. Right, so because there's 4 holes. So I would do drywall anchors on one side of the stud, and then hit the other 2 holes in the stud. You know what I'm saying?
Some folks have noticed your Coach Kimmy products in the background
Yeah.
of videos. Have you used any of them yet? Are you?
The only thing I used was Ulex on the, which is an adhesive remover. I used that on the wing riser area. It worked really well. I'm not sure how safe it is on the paint, so I need to assess that. But the other stuff, I used the heavy cut compound, which is pretty nice too. Real easy to remove. It was a nice user experience. So I haven't done any of the other milder polishes yet. But I'm going to be going to the launch event, the US launch event in Atlanta in November. I'm really interested in that product line. I think there's going to be some really nice stuff inside of it. They have 130 plus products just in the detailing line, and then there's all kinds of stuff in like the professional refinishing, and then their car wash line. So my guess is there's probably going to be some sneaky stuff in there that I'm going to try to get a hold of every product they make. At least that's the plan.
We got a $10 super chat from our buddy Brian. He usually does that from. Forgive me, Brian. I think you're up in New York area. Happy Friday, Wash and Talk Chase. I don't know which Chase he's referring to, but maybe we'll see. Jason wants to know, you'll appreciate this one, Matt. What's your recommendation for a 65-inch TV for a bright room?
I don't think bright or dark really matters to me. I would still buy an OLED. The only time I wouldn't buy an OLED is if it's out on like a patio outside, or maybe even inside the garage. Maybe do LCD there because of the massive amount of glare. But I'm always going to be buying a LG OLED for pretty much any application. And there's no reason to buy like the Signature series, because like the more expensive LG organic LEDs, there's really no benefit to them. They have like better speakers. They don't have like better processors or better, a better display. It's the same darn display. It's just they give you like better sound or something like that, which really shouldn't matter. That application.
All right, was the spoon hood install straightforward? Is there a video? What's the deal with that?
Yep, that video should be up tomorrow, something like that.
Sunday. I think so, Sunday.
Super easy. Again, it's pretty janky though. I'm already a little torn on whether I want a carbon fiber hood anyway. I know I wanted one back in the day. That's the main reason why I'm doing it. So, you know, it's one of those things, it's like, I'm not 100% certain I even want it. And it's not like super perfect. So, I'm not sure what to do about it. So at least got a coat of this primer on here. And then we'll just slop some black, and we can't bring the camera around and show the other side, but it turned out okay. I mean, you'd be much better off spray painting this. It would be a much more even. The primer actually goes on really well with the brush. The black, not quite as well. I'll show you the little trick. You just kind of have to glob it on there at the end.
Do you have any idea the weight savings on the hood?
It's 14 pounds. So I added it up. Front suspension, I gained 36 pounds, you know, because of the bigger brakes. That was the main difference, the main issue. And so the suspension, we gained 36 pounds, or no, 34 pounds. And between the hood and the battery, I lost like 33 pounds, 10 ounces. And so, oh, I need to do the hub. So it's basically a wash. But it's not like you're losing 50 pounds or something like that from the hood.
Let's see, can I wash my foam buffing pads in the wash with Micro Restore? Or is that for towels only?
No, yeah. Oh, those, you can. I don't like to do that though. I don't like to get polish all up in my washing machine. So I know Rupes does, because they're washing hundreds and hundreds of pads at a time. But I like to wash it with Dawn, and then I take Micro Restore and I dilute it like 60% water, 40% Micro Restore, so pretty heavily concentrated, and I put that in a spray bottle. And so I wash the Dawn out with Micro Restore, but I do that in the sink. Well, let's say used to, because my new policy is I'm not washing pads anymore. I sell them. So all my pads I'm using one time, and then I'm just selling them at 50% of what they cost me. So I'll always be using new pads every time I polish, because I'm a heathen.
All right, a couple more hood questions here. Number one, have you thought about painting it?
No.
And then two, could the hood be brought up to OG spec if you had it re-cleared?
Probably not. Just, just the carbon women, you're just clearing over the same kind of crappy finish. PPF will solve it. And then whoever gets the car after me can decide what they want to do with it. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's let that dry here. So let's take our tow arm off the top. The beauty of this, all this stuff comes off and nothing like explodes. Nothing pops out or anything like that. So we can just take all these bolts off. I'm going to take the sway bar off. Actually, let me do that. Let me remove the sway bar end link first. So sway bar end link is right here. And I like doing it with this. 14 mil. Nope. That's a 12. That's a 15. That's the 14. So we're doing new sway bar, new frame brace, new sway bar end links, new lower control arms. We'll see about this baby blue hard race. I might end up getting the ASR or one of the other brands, but for now, this will be fine. All right, so let's take these 14s. First, let's take this tow arm off. Tell you what, people, this tool, this is the 1/2 inch, 250 foot-pound right angle impact that I end up using way more than any other tool. It's freaking awesome. So I find myself using this like all the time.
All right, Jack has a good question for you here. Now that you've had some time in the GT4, what aspects of the M3 do you prefer?
Nothing. The M3 is probably going to disappear because there's nothing about it that's better, other than it has a back seat. I don't know. Do you guys know? Is this OE? This looks aftermarket to me. Is that a OE adjustable tow arm? Okay, let's pop our coilover out. We're not going to reuse that bolt. The Moton needs a different one. And let's take our control arm bolt out. Okay. And then let's take our control arm off. This thing's going to drop off. See how awesome this thing is? And I don't think we're going to be reusing this bolt either. Is this a DC? What is this thing? It's going in the trash is what it is. Then this control arm's ready to come out. Just pull on this. So there's the factory control arm, and here's the hard race control arm. New urethane, and you can get this in in solid bushings, but we don't want to rattle our teeth out, so we're going to go with urethane bushings, but all new bushings. Let's take the sway bar off while we're up here. So we got all new brackets. So these are 12 millimeters.
All right, we have a couple of Civic experts chiming in here, Matt.
Okay.
Garage Civic, Mark Wallace, Youngblood all say the OEM upper camber arm is not adjustable in any way, so if it has any adjustment, it's aftermarket.
Got it. So that is an aftermarket one. So I need a 12 millimeter impact.
And then Needs Decaf on Instagram called it, I think. He said, so how soon till the M3 gets kicked to the curb and raffled off now that the GT4 has become the daily?
I'm going to give it a little more time because you know I'm going to end up getting another one.
You got to polish it a few more times before you get rid of it.
Look at this little baby, this little cutie sway bar here. This little baby guy's going to get upgraded.
Now, Javier wants to know, while you're under there, you planning to do any sort of undercarriage coating or leave as is?
Yep, I'm gonna do a whole detail series on the undercarriage. Look at that thing. It's the babiest little thing I've ever seen. Yeah, we're gonna do some undercarriage cleanup. We'll be doing, I'll be showing you the new OG Mosmatic thingy-majig undercarriage slash surface cleaner. All right, so let's put...
Those will be coming to the store eventually, by the way.
Yeah. So let me get the
order.
coilover out here from up top. That's still drying. Drop the car down. we're not gonna be able to finish this today, but I have a set of brackets coming that will hold our reservoir. I didn't know this was an option, but I didn't opt for quick disconnect they have a quick disconnect for the gas lines, the gas fluid line. So there's fluid and gas in the line for the remote reservoir. I'll show you in a second. So the problem is I can't disconnect it. Otherwise, I could have just drilled or found like a little factory hole, and I could have mounted it to the rear strut tower brace or something like that. We're not going to be able to do that. In the front of the car, we just ran it up underneath into the engine bay. The back of the car, they're going to be mounted up underneath the car somewhere, kind of like a truck would. Like, can you grab that so it doesn't drop on the ground, or lift up so that I can drop out the factory coilover. There's just 2 bolts here in the push-up. Two bolts here in the trunk. Okay, it's ready to come out. So there's a crappy H&R spring factory shock and coilover that we're about to ditch.
All right, Adam's asking a couple questions about the OG capacity test. There's a video. There is one inside the hex. I believe that's up now, about the numbers and kind of how things went.
So since we're in here, let's put the new shock. Look at this guy. These are like $4,000 a corner. All right, so this was 12 grand for the set. Totally unnecessary, completely ridiculous, but amazing nonetheless. Now, Sean did hook me up, but I still did pay a lot of money for this. Sean from PSI is the U.S. representative. He's the co-U.S. representative for Moton AST USA. He's come from the Netherlands. All right, Mike, can you jam this back up in there?
You still enjoying the new exhaust? Are you going to install the new header anytime soon?
I put the factory header back on per John's recommendation from LHT, so that way we can compare. We can compare the performance of the new engine, apples to apples. But
Yes,
yeah,
Youngblood,
the
you're correct.
Fujitsubo exhaust is the one,
His mouth is often off. That's why I'm here.
I think. Let's put the 2 top nuts on. Okay. There we go. So we won't reuse the factory ones. I can just sort of float there. And keep all the factory bolts here. So now let me go back up with it. We'll just let that thing dangle. See, I'll probably end up doing in the front, I ended up doing drop forks. You'll have to watch the video. We'll have it up next week. But the front I ended up doing, I did lowered drop forks and then reverse tie rods. But the problem with that is it ended up being way too low. Like we couldn't even at full droop, it was at like lower than we would want it. And so I pulled the forks out, put the factory forks back in, changed the position of where the bottom, so the base mount of the coilover sits, and then I've ordered the new tie rods because the tie rods that I had chosen aren't going to work. So let's just set this aside. I'll just set this over here. So what this is going to end up doing is likely mounting up here to the frame, the rear frame of the car or something like that. And so I'm going to make sure that I have slack. So this will probably come up and we'll attach it somehow. Do something pretty. I thought about attaching it to the sway bar. I thought that would look kind of cool, but I don't think we're going to end up doing that.
Do you have any plans to carry the new M12 and M18 fuel multi-oscillating tool? Have you used that?
Maybe. No, I haven't used it yet.
Can I screw that up?
No, it'll turn. It'll turn like this. Yeah, I don't know. You guys have to remember that I'm working off of the original catalog, and there's like a freaking 1,000 things. So I'm working my way through one step at a time. Need some wire cutters.
And there are new products that come out pretty much every month from them.
Yeah, and so once we catch up to that, then we'll be able to stay current. Okay, so let me put my lower control arm in. So it goes this way. The left and right are the same. Let me come up with the car a little bit. Yeah, so painting the carbon fiber hood doesn't make a lot of sense. Then I would just put the factory hood back on. It's only 14 pounds difference. I can't wait for the noose bomb lift because it gives me another like 4 inches of height. So I'll be able to stand under the car. And then the other advantage is then we'll be able to be able to teach you, we'll know how the thing works. So there's a couple of zip ties on here to hold this in place. Now, the Moton didn't come with hardware, and luckily I had some hardware that's going to work. The factory bolt is too short for this distance from left to right. And so, this probably isn't preferred, but I've got a 12-point, and the black oxide, I didn't have any black oxide washers or whatever you call it, nut. But this is an M10 bolt because the factory one is too short. It doesn't fit on here. It's not long enough to make it all the way through. So I'm going to be using this one, and it should be fine.
All right, quick car question from Manuel. I was planning on scooping up a R8 V10, but it's looking like my plans may be shifting into Porsche now.
Yeah.
Question is, if you had to choose only one, which would you go with, GT3 RS or should I wait for the GT4 RS?
Who knows what the GT4 RS is going to be. I would only buy an R8 or something like that if I had like 10 Porsches. Porsche's just so much better, I think. I mean, the R8's cool. But that's just me, but I'm also a Porsche guy. So, I mean, I would get a GT3 RS. That, to me, I'm always going to have a GT3. So the GT3 is first and foremost. And so the GT4 is the luxury. The GT4 is the inferior car. It's the superior platform, but it's an inferior, Porsche doesn't put as much into it.
It's also like half the cost, right?
Yeah. Need to just tap this in place. There we go. This should center up. That works.
All right, Jojo noticed the new Rupes pads are live in the store.
Yep.
Are you planning on trying their new polishes?
I have. They're not as good as Jesscar or Meguiar's, but I haven't used it a ton. I'm sure you can get great results with it. I mean, Jason Rose is behind it, so I'm sure it's fine. But I don't know, Jesscar is so good and I know how to use it. So I'd be inclined to just stick with it. Okay. I know, a lot of us like, especially me, I like the idea of complete sets and using a system, but, you kind of only would do that as if you had to. So now we're going to just bring this control arm up into the base of the coilover. Everything on this lines up nicely, relatively easily.
And everything Carbro, we're using a twin bush lift. We're getting a new SPOM lift soon, but the one Matt's using right now is called twin bush.
And notice we're doing it on a scissor lift, which I think is the superior lift. Ultimately, it'd be nice to have both lifts, both types, because there are certain things you can't do on each. And so now we're going to take our modified bolt here. And I put the couple of washers. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on it as well. Washer on the other end. So I'm going to say this is like a 110 millimeter, maybe 120 millimeter. Yeah, I think 110 millimeter long bolt. For those of you in the future that are trying to figure out your rear suspension on an EM1 Civic.
Jason wants to know, have you been able to get your hands on the Meguiar's ceramic coating? Have you used that yet?
No, I don't think I doubt it's very good. Again, I think you do those things if you're chasing, like if you just want to be the guy that finds something that nobody knows about. I don't know that I really care to be that guy. Because G-Technic, G-On, CarPro, there's so many great manufacturers already out there. That make great stuff. So, you know, Meguiar's has never really spent a lot of time and energy on that. They just took one of their international coatings that they've had for a while and brought it here, launched it here.
With those new Rupes pads, is it better to use white instead of yellow on a two-step correction?
Probably. That's what I've been finding is that the white, because they've gone from 4 pads to 3 pads, and so the white is a little bit more. I find the yellow is a little more aggressive. I'm kind of worried about this. Worry about this making noise. I want to make sure this sits tightly against the bushing. I think we're okay. All right, so now we'll have to push this out. And then we're going to put our braces in place. So how does this thing go? So this thing's going to sit out here like this. And there's a whole new lengthened hardware for this. So there's also some brackets. And then I think that the sway bar end links. Okay, so this bracket goes inside like this. This little spacer.
Are those baby blue parts? Someone wants to know that.
Yeah, I know. I don't love that. Baby blue. That's why I said I may end up getting a different brace here. Okay, so let's put the bottom bolt in. But then there's also, we don't have any instructions for any of this crap. You just kind of wing it. So then there's this insert thing.
What kind of trailing arm bushings are you going to use?
I don't know what that is.
Me either, but I figured you might.
Is this the trailing arm he's talking about?
Sorry, Calvin.
So let's go there. Is he just trying to catch me slipping? Does this go on the back side? Maybe for reinforcement? think that may be how that goes. So let me just loose fit. So this is threaded. This is the one part I didn't figure out before we got on camera. So this goes here. So our end links are going to go through that. But what the heck is this thing for? This little threaded piece, which clearly matches up with this here, like so. But it doesn't, I don't think it sandwiches. It doesn't go there.
All right. I have some input from All Day Anthony here that may help you with that.
What's Anthony saying?
He says, first of all, trailing arm bushings are a thing, so that's good. So with this brace, you need to attach those thicker pieces to the brace before installing it with the backing of the brace.
Say what?
With this brace, you need to attach those thicker pieces to the brace before installing it with the backing of the brace.
So I'm going to put these pieces on here first, is what he's saying?
I
I see. There's a bolt that goes through. But what the heck is this thing for, Anthony?
Well, Garage Civic is chiming in as well. Tell Matt the reinforcement plate is not necessary because the EM1 has threaded holes for the factory bar and every other model does not.
Thank you, sir.
If he wants to use or need,
I'm going to do these from now on live. That we have a live support.
you need to drill out the factory holes. And then Anthony's saying yes, exclamation point.
Aha!
So thank you all. What's the last movie you watched in the home theater?
None, because the home theater doesn't freaking work, because it blew up. All right, so these clearly go on here with a washer.
And Anthony, last part here says that's the backing piece only for unthreaded holes.
So this thing goes here.
Mellow Out asks, how's the other building's progress coming along? As all building projects do, not very well. But we're
Okay, so
working
that goes
through it.
there.
Lots of headaches and red tape that we're going through.
This one goes here.
And use Loctite for the bracket, he says.
Ah, that's for babies. Come on, people. This is Locks Eel.
That's way better, I'm sure. What is Matt's go-to scent? I'm guessing he means in the car. On his person, it's more of just a natural musk. Sweaty teenage boy acts.
Yeah.
What do you use in the car? You use Bliss?
Yeah, Eden.
Eden?
Angel Wax Eden.
Which is out of stock temporarily, but coming back soon, hopefully.
Always out of stock. We're always freaking out of stock.
Yeah, Angel Wax is tough to get sometimes. Have you seen the new Adams DI filter system?
You mean?
Just a rebranded RV transformer system? That's what this.
No, it's not. That's a generic system that anybody can get. You know, it's just a resin, a tank that holds resin, and so they just went and found probably a local, water filtration company and had it made. All right, so these bolts are going to go through there, or here. Do I need Loctite on this too? We'll put some on. Probably not. So then this guy goes here through our lower control arm. Yeah, it's kind of cute. It'd be better if it was black. I should get a different one.
All right, we have a couple reminders here for you.
Uh-oh.
Install everything loose and then put the car on the ground before tightening up, or your suspension is going to be whack.
No, that's bull crap. That's what people's daddies tell them to do. I've never done that in my life. I'm not doing that. That's like an old daddy tale. Otherwise, your bushings are going to be all jacked up.
Which wheels are you leaning towards leaving on the Civic?
How did I lose a ratchet? I didn't go anywhere. It's right here. Say what?
Which wheels?
Well, I'd really like to have the, I'd love it if the TEs that are on the front left there, the TE37 Sonic, if that will work, that's my hope. But it's a 16 by 8. I just don't know if it's going to work the way I want. I got Desmond Regamaster sitting there in the box. You know, the RE30s are not my favorite. The spoons are junk. The spoons aren't going to fit anyway. The new spoons. I don't like the 15s. I've got to get different tires on the CE28s. So I got a lot of stuff to do.
There are a few people asking this question, including our friend Mike out in California. Mike says, we haven't talked since BMW officially released pics of the new M3 M4.
Oh, Lord.
This might be a rant-worthy question.
I was distraught. Like Michelle was sitting there, she's trying to talk to me. I'm sitting there watching these goofballs talk about this hunk of crap. It's too big. It's too stupid looking. I'm sure it's going to sound like crap. You know, I don't care if it's tunable. People have to stop buying this stuff. Don't buy it. Of course, morons will buy it and say it's great. It'll be fart crazy and popping and whizzing. Do all kinds of other bull crap. It's so sad. I was thinking about making a video, making it like 45 minutes long, of just me on a loop, going like this. Freaking BMW. Idiots. I know what they're doing. They think that they know, right? So they're thinking, well, shoot, everybody told us the E46 was no good, and look what happened. Now it's iconic. Look, everybody told us the E60 was no good. You know, and so they're saying, you know, we know better. And so that's kind of, I think, the mentality that they have is that, you know, we know better. And so we're gonna just teach everybody how it, you know, how it's gonna go. Wow, this freaking looks awesome. This whole setup, great. So look at the sway bar difference. So apparently it's not good to mess with the front sway bar on these. You don't want to mess with that. But the rear, but look at the difference. Yeah. This little baby pea shooter here versus the versus this big boy. That's gonna be a pretty big difference. Guaranteed to make all kinds of noise and flop around and. Okay, so that goes. Now the only problem is I didn't freaking pay attention. Which way does it go? Did it come out this way? So, well,
Here's some more advice you may or may not want. Now would be a good time to check the state of your control arm bushings.
Let's see. Well, I just changed the control arms. It goes that way. So they're brand new control arms. Plus everything on this car is fine. I mean, it's got 20,000 miles on it. So this is why, you know, people are like, why didn't you just buy a beat up Civic? Have you seen, like I've been, you know, some of these things I've had to like look for videos online and you see like just rust and crust falling off all over the place. Why would anybody want that? I don't frickin' want that. I wanted to have some factory fresh. I mean, look at how clean this thing is under here. It's beautiful. I don't care if I'm replacing most of it. I don't want to have to deal with some stinky old crap. I doubt these really, they didn't provide any grease, so we probably don't need any. Okay, so now I got 4 bolts. 2 long ones, 2 short ones. 2 washers, and maybe I was supposed to use the washers elsewhere. Dang it, Anthony, you messed it up. What did I do wrong here? Okay.
This is all your fault somehow, Anthony.
That one doesn't go in there. So I think the short one goes here with no washer. I see. I see how this goes. So one goes back in through the factory hole. So which one's which? So that's probably the short one. Let's see, we got 3 bolts. Maybe the medium one. Yeah, I'd say the medium one goes there. No washer. Long one, medium one, medium sized. I think these are 6mm hex. Yeah, so those go there. This has to come out. Because the end link goes on there, and that's why that's recessed.
Are you ready for some more Anthony?
All right, what's he yapping about now?
But the shortest bolt will hold the bracket in place, along with the long bolt that goes inside the LCA.
Yeah.
The medium-sized bolt is going to be one of the bolts holding the sway bar in place.
I figured it out. Yeah, 6mm. Think of all the awesome high-speed turns I'm going to be taking in this beauty. It's going to be so freaking expensive, I'm not going to want to drive it. I should probably have Chubb insure it for like 150 grand or something. I mean, I guess if I'm only going to insure it for a few months, you know, that way if I slide off the road and smash the thing, I'm not out a bunch of money. I don't like to over-insure in life, but... Okay, so now the long bolts go up top.
It goes inside the LCA.
I don't know what LCA is.
Lower control arm, maybe. Lettuce Cheddar Association. See you, Brian. Have a good weekend. Thanks for joining us. Glad to be back. Is the B18C going to get upgraded internals or a factory refresh?
Upgraded internals. So we'll be getting, you know, cams, springs, retainers, pistons, the whole deal. I don't even know what John's doing. I said, John, do what you do. And tell him and share it with me on the video. Kind of like with the stereo. It's like, Derek, do your thing. I'm in on that. I don't like all this mismatched color business. Too many colors.
Lettuce is terrible, Fox. Shame on you. Just one thing Matt and I can agree on.
All right, screw this in on the top. This looks cool. This is always my favorite thing. Was that, you know, I had the red DC bar on my car, and you could see it like when you're driving like up a little crest of a hill. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. This doesn't look as pretty as I would like it to look here. I'm gonna probably be messing with ride height and camber for like, my guess, what's the over under? 20 hours? Let's just say many hours of adjusting.
We have a question here, Matt. What was your username on the Honda Tech forums?
Money2536. I didn't spend a lot of time on Honda Tech. I was on Club SI. I mainly just lurked on Honda Tech when I needed to. But again, I didn't do a lot of my own stuff on this car anyway. I didn't do any of my own. So I did the header. That was it. All right, I'll make you babies happy. Well, a little bit of preload. That's people's. That's a second favorite word past rod bearings for guys to pretend like they know what they're talking about. Third favorite is, you gonna change the gearing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. You gonna change the gearing in your GT4? No. No, I'm not gonna change the gearing. The gearing's fine. Oh, that looks good. Okay, let's make sure this is tight. We still have to put the toe arm up top. It looks pretty good. We do a couple of Mormon twisteroos, and we'll call that torque to spec.
Anthony has some input on that as well, if you want to.
Yeah, what's he telling me?
Let's see. Where'd those numbers go? The short bolts are supposed to be torqued to something like 15 foot-pounds. The long should go something like 45 foot-pounds, or in other words, hecka tight.
Yeah.
Lots of ugga dugga.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense because the short ones are being tightened into aluminum, where the long ones are being tightened into the factory sleeve or threaded inserts. And these bottom ones. Dang, that looks good. Look at that. Can you people see that? That's tight. Too many colors, but whatever. You got yellow or orange and black and purple and all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna take this deal somehow or another. What if I put it like right here? Would that be cool?
That'd look nice.
I strap it right here. Oh wait, it hits, drags. No, the thing's probably gonna go up here somewhere, or maybe up here. Because again, think about this, I would have to drill, I would have to make a hole, whatever that is, 2 3/4 inch diameter to fit it up in there, because I don't have a quick disconnect for this. No, when are you gonna take it to the track? Wasting your money, you're ruining the Civic. None of those comments? Those come after the live.
No. What Porsche forums are you on currently?
Renlist. All right, so let's check out our, we should probably put our black coat on this, so that way that can dry. And I want to put this, what am I doing? I need to put this back on. So don't scratch this thing up. We'll debadge it, we'll take the stickers off. And then we gotta put our toe arm back on. Then we're gonna put our end links on. So I had to get some, Mike at Hard Race told me that with these control arms that you really need an adjustable sway bar end link. And so blocks is like the only game in town. And so, which way does it go? Anthony, somebody. There's the further in, the more aggressive, I believe. So the further, there's 2 bolt holes. So the one that's closer to the bar, I think, makes it more aggressive. What do I know? All right, let's lower it down. So the thing you have to be wary of when people talk about the tightening the suspension under load is you don't want to bind up your bushings. But the way that this is designed, the way it's set up, you'd have a really hard time doing that. So that's why I don't worry about tightening it on the ground. Look at that. That's freaking cool. That's what a whole lot of money buys you. A cool look.
All right, here's a response from Anthony here. It says, yes, you have options. Don't go out to the end. Go with the middle option if it's there.
There's only 2, so now what? Okay, so we gotta do the brake line too. So let's put our tow arm in. Just hang this sucker over here.
He says inner.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, so let's put this guy in place, and I set it up a little bit longer than the factory, so we'll get a little bit more. Oh shoot, I should have gone a little shorter. Anyway, we'll be playing with this anyway, because we're going to probably want some camber, some more camber than what we had. And then this was a 12. No, 14.
Hi, Roger from Yorkshire. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us.
So this is where we'll do get our rear camber adjustment. We also have spoon stainless brake lines to do. Spoon pads. I mainly chose the spoon pads and spoon brake lines just to keep it simple. And there might be better, but
Pancake sauce, the Rega Masters are here. They're over in the boxes over there.
the only problem with the Rega Masters is they're green. They're like gunmetal green. So I don't know how that's going to look with this car. And I'm not putting those freaking stupid stickers on them either, so you can say what you want about that, but I don't want some goofy Rega Master stickers all over my wheels. So right now they don't have stickers on them. I'll show them to you in a minute.
Any reason you're not opting to wear the backwards hat in this video?
I don't want to get it dirty. Okay. 14. Love how all this just goes together nicely. See, look, there's no binding. Tighten this up right here, it'll be just fine. What are they saying?
You have like 4 different suspension colors on there already. You might as well add one more.
Should paint these purple, pink.
Or add the stickers. What color the sticker?
All right, let's paint this thing. What else do I got to do here? I'm going to put the end links on, but I want to get some black paint, a first coat on there. I'm going to do the same thing. Look at that door open. What the heck's going on?
Are you ready for some more Anthony advice here?
What does he want?
All right, for the rear camber, get both ends of the camber adjuster to be even. From there, match each turn to back out the camber to a positive setting.
I ain't no poor old Honda guy. I'm gonna take it to the alignment shop and we're gonna align the darn thing.
Set it up off the car first, match the OEM.
I didn't have OEM, I had some jank fitting on there.
Tim wants to know, can we get a total spent on the Civic so far?
Man, where are we at? We like 120, 125, 130? Not to 130 yet?
No.
Did you get the ones I just bought last night?
Yes.
Had to buy a new airbag, some tie rods.
Now that does include the cost of the car itself.
Tie rod boots. Yeah, car's 25 grand. I haven't registered it yet, so there's another 1,200 bucks I gotta pay. But I'm pretty much, I mean, I keep saying this, I'm pretty much done. I mean, there's not much else to buy.
Hold on, I'm gonna
I'm
get that in
trying.
Yeah, Tim, a lot. I update that spreadsheet pretty regularly. I'll try to hide emails from me, but I catch them. Charlie, yes, plans for the engine. It's going to John at LHT Performance, which isn't too far down the road here in Florida, I think. So, I don't know what all he's doing, but a lot.
So do I need to explain to these people how the math works on this thing and why? I think these guys get it.
So unless you want to look like a hot boy on the way to the shop, just try to match what it was previously. That's Anthony's final words there.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I think he likes the hot boy look sometimes. When will panel white be added to the store, Mark? Once we get it. We have the 5-liter version available, but the little bottles are out of stock and not available to us, but hopefully the next,
We're
I wouldn't
going
say next week, but the
jank
week
right
after.
over the rubber boots, and I don't freaking care what you say. Because if you were to spray paint it, I mean, you could tape it, I guess, but we'll just get our first little rough coat on here. Again, we're trying to make these invisible, so I'm not super worried about perfection here, but I do want it to look good.
When are the Altezza taillights coming in?
Ordered. They're on back order forever.
Those things are so popular.
Back order for infinity. Gosh, this would take 30 seconds if I could just frickin' spray paint.
When it's done, Matt needs a photo shoot with the Iverson jersey on.
Oh, yeah. Who's that?
Mellow out, chimed in with that one. You could take a picture and sell the
I need an Iverson jersey.
print. You gotta be wearing some Jinko jeans, whatever it is you wore back in the day.
No.
Yeah, I could see
I didn't
those.
wear those.
Whatever. Serious question for you, Matt. White, blue, red, or green underglow?
We did have Underglow wanting to sponsor the car. For Bryce had some genius idea. I told him to get out of here.
Speaking of which, any updates on under cabinet lighting?
Yeah, it's good. Now we just have to get it. It's the one. It's the right stuff. I just have to get it ordered and in the store. But it is legit. The hard part is drilling the darn cabinet. You'd want to drill the cabinets before you install if you had the choice, but they keep blowing through bits.
Luke R., yes, the press all bottles will be landing in Miami, the port of Miami, October 8th, allegedly, which is a Thursday. So that following week, the week of I think that's the 12th, is hopefully when we'll get them here and get them up in the store.
We already paid for them, right?
Yes. So I want them here very soon as well, Luke.
I didn't do any inside the hex stuff this week.
Somebody say underglow?
Here. Uh-oh.
I have,
What is this?
I
That's
have
not
an
for
underglow
this.
kit.
No, it's not for
It's
this.
for Jeff's douche car.
Oh man.
You gotta accentuate the IRL.
Independent.
Accentuate the modern amazingness of an independent rear suspension that every other car has had since the beginning of time.
You want, I can get some for the Civic too.
No.
I'm here to get a comment here on Facebook from Jason Wallace I wanted to share. Matt, mostly just a quick thank you. I bought an MTM kit for my Stanley pressure washer during the cap sale.
Sweet.
That led to some other fittings, bead maker, etc. I attempted to find the fittings locally and found they were complete junk.
Yeah.
I'm glad to honor the source and let others know to save themselves the trouble. You've already done the legwork. For anyone on the fence, there really is no comparison between the OEM junk gun and wand and what OG sells. The entire experience has improved, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Appreciate
Glad to hear
it.
it, Jason. That's what we like
This
to hear.
this
what we
video
like
is
to
about
do.
as exciting as watching paint dry, isn't it? I've had people watch me paint base bars before.
Cesar wants to know, how are the gloves working out? Do you like those gloves?
Yeah, I do. What are they? They're under there.
They are Microflex.
Our friend Clayton down in Orlando
Midnight
gave them to me.
with a K. Midnight. Powder-free nitrile examination gloves. Extra small.
Let's paint our center cap thingy.
All right. Tim says Matt needs to get some Takata racing harnesses for this ride.
Yeah.
For all the racing you'll do.
And you're gonna want me to take it with my shirt off. That's what he's gonna say next.
Don't forget the Honda seatbelt covers. Any carbon visuals planned for the Civic?
There really aren't any. Just the hood and the mirrors. Not many options here. All right, so now we can get our sway bar end links set up here. Stuff dries pretty fast, so you can kind of roll a second-ish coat. So the trick here is, as soon as this stuff starts to dry when you're painting it, because it's designed to be sprayed on, not painted on, you just kind of glob it on there and don't brush it too much, and then you don't end up with brush looking lines on here.
You gonna have a fire extinguisher in there as well, Matt, in the Civic? And Sound and Motion should have added a PS2 Slim somewhere in the car.
Needed
That's good stuff.
gauge pods, you know, one of those things on the side, the and the A-pillar there. So you can monitor all of your AFRs on this sweet machine. Okay, let's check out these end links here. These look pretty darn stout for a little baby Civic. And what we'll do, I'll let that black dry, I'll put the pads in, then we'll mount up the pad, or put the pads in, mount up the caliper, then change the brake line, and we're done. I have to tighten the top as well.
What's the OG spec plastic cup for holding your spray paint?
I don't know, some
Is it Solo?
Sam's Choice business from my mom got. Nobody else is allowed, only I'm allowed it. Okay. So we're going inner. How the heck does this work?
Don't blow the welds on the intake. There you go.
I'll try not to.
Will there be a huge red NOS switch anywhere on the car?
Don't say NOS.
That's how it's typed in there. Well, good feedback from Tim here. Micro Restore is legit versus what he's tried before. That's good, Tim.
Ah! I haven't even gotten angry yet. This is good.
The day is young.
So I need to make these end links about the same length. So then, yeah, it's got to come off the back side here. I'm going to have to jack this up a little bit. I think that's how I'm going to want it on the outside. Let's pull jack this thing up. Then I'm going to set my end links to roughly the same length. I think I need to make these longer than the factory ones. Let's set them up the same and see if we can get it to fit. So, let me take and match this. See how much length we actually have. These are a lot shorter. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. We'll go on the outside. Use some really long bolts.
A couple non-Civic related questions here. How is it living with a dog after you said you'd never have a dog?
It's pretty cool. I like that little guy. I'm glad I just let go of my... I don't do anything with that dog. I just pet him once in a while. I don't feed him. I don't walk him. I don't bathe him. I don't even know what he eats.
And then someone noticed that they haven't seen the orange cat around in a while. I want to know if he's still, or she is still around.
Yeah, he got jacked up, man.
Uh-oh.
He got in a fight with a frickin' wolf or something, a werewolf. But he's too mean. We can't get him in a container, or, to put him in the car. Needs to shift a little bit to the left. I don't think it's moving now. I'm gonna have to loosen it up. I didn't frickin' make it similar. Let's get our end links in first.
If one was available, would you want a spoon front lip?
No. Yeah, I don't like that one. That one I think you can get, but I don't love the look of that thing. I do want to find the rear OE lip. That's what I want. But I think I'm going to avoid painting. So I don't think I'm going to do any paint. Push it over a little bit. So,
Will you be installing the JDM fog lights?
no, I don't think so. I think I'm pretty much done, with buying stuff. Get the suspension set up, figure out the wheels, put the S2000 steering wheel in, put the new engine in, and that's about it. Let me take this thing off. Just want to wiggle this over to the left a little bit to get it right.
If and when you get your Ferrari 458 Speciale,
Yeah.
what color?
I don't know. I mean, white is cool. That, is it Grigio Telesto? That kind of gray is super cool. And red, I mean, really blue. I mean, basically any of the colors are great on that thing. I'm not sure what I would pursue. But then yesterday, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get a 458, why don't I just get a 488? That's 1 1/8. It's close. Still want it to go the other way a little bit. I think I went too far. I did. Pull it back.
I'm guessing this may be a name brand. What about a backyard special bumper?
No, no bumpers. Stock. OE plus. All right, that's where I want it. I want it there.
What kind of puck/blocks are you using on between the Civic and the lift there?
They're from Twin Bush. What did I do with that other nut? Put it somewhere. Right here. Okay, so let's put this. Yeah, these bolts are so long on these end links. All right, well, what size is that? It's going to be something funky. Yeah, figures. It's like 17 probably. Yep. 17. 15. I got a 15 right here. 17, 15. And I think we gotta get it up on there. Shoot. What if I go extension? Otherwise, I'm going to be ratcheting on that for 10 minutes. Nope.
You got another convert here, Matt. Undertow 999 says, just watched the first 2 episodes of Heartland. Hate to say it, but I'm all in.
Yeah!
Next, you'll be following them all on Instagram and watching highlight videos on YouTube. Have you decided which stuffed animal to hang from the rear tow point? Jason wants to know.
Why is it more funny when you're asking it in that tone of voice?
I think you're like a Fozzie Bear kind of guy.
I mean, these bolts are like 3-inch long bolts, and they only need to be 1 inch long. I guess it's a universal type end link.
Tim wants to know, how far are we from a GT2 RS in the future?
Probably never. I don't like turbos. So, yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever get one.
And yes, Mike, feeling much better from last week. Thank you for asking. It was a rough week. Why no electric ratchet?
It won't fit right there.
He
Not
just
a good
likes to
enough
show off.
answer?
Trying to get your workout in. Showing off your
That's
guns
good.
for the camera.
Let's see if it fits on the other side. Oh, shoot. Dang it.
Uh-oh, we're going the instructions. This is not a good sign. Anthony, we might need you back here on that.
Lower control arm. Self-locking nut. $13mm spacer. Adjusting end lengths to minimum length is ideal in most conditions. Take it back off, Dumbo. And then female So the fat end, this is left side assembly. Be sure both end links are the same length or you'll have uneven handling and rapid wear. Okay. Should have read the instructions. Anti-roll bar. So the 5mm spacer goes on the bottom. Let me take that back off. This is what I get for paying attention.
Got a super chat here from our friend Yoshi. It says instructions are for babies.
Yeah. Agreed.
This may or may not help you here. There's a vent into the boot on the passenger side rear, which you could take out. It may fit through there.
This thing here?
He says the passenger side rear, the vent into the boot.
We'll have to check it out. So actually, I ought to be able to leave that there if I can get this out. Doing all kinds of messing things up. I'm actually doing pretty well. I haven't messed anything up yet in the rear. The front was a gosh darn disaster.
And it looks like Bryce from Summerfield says, those spoon calipers would have never fit unless a baby read the instructions.
Come on. It's starting to get contentious here. Look out.
It's getting good now. Thanks, Yoshi. Good to be back.
Starting to get angry.
Cantankerous curmudgeon. First, baby blue parts, now instructions. Before we know it, Matt's going to have to change into a Gildan t-shirt. That's good, Sam. Good stuff.
So why don't they... At least I put this on the right way. I need to shorten it up. Thread in all the way. Male rod ends must be 90-degree phase. Okay, got that. 90 degrees, that's what we got. So the big spacer, this cone spacer, goes on the outside. Oh shoot, yeah, that one's wrong too. I'm a freaking idiot. Okay, let me just take that one off. Start fresh. Let me take this one off too. Now I got the sway bar sliding around. Actually, I can bring it down low now and just use my... Need a 14 and a 17. Sway bar end links are the bane of my existence. I never get it to work right. Let's try again.
So did you give up on the Apple Watch?
Oh yeah. That didn't make it very long at all. Uh-oh. Hammer. Screwdriver. How do I not have a screwdriver? There it is. Because I put these on backwards, now I got them locked on here. Because I didn't read the instructions, Bryce. That's what I pay people for. Why would I read instructions myself? $17, $17. Reverse thread. Dear Lord. So if it's reverse thread, I need to turn it the other way.
Sounds logical.
Oh, no wonder. That's not 17. Of course, it's some bullcrap sides that I don't have out.
Do you need to put the orange vise to good use? Couple.
No. I don't want to get it dirty. They're scratched.
Yes, they are available in the store.
Okay. So we'll go full short. That's what it says to do. At least as short as they'll go. I need to go 90 degrees. Okay. Now this one doesn't go in as far as that one. So we'll bring this one out a little bit. What time is it?
It is 3:43 Eastern Time.
Oh, shoot. You ready to quit yet?
Oh no, I'm having a good time here. This is some good banter here in the chat. Bruce Lee has joined us. That's cool. I'm surprised Matt doesn't have carbon fiber shop glasses. And Jason responds, he does. He doesn't want to scratch them.
Shop glasses are for babies.
Oh man.
Some guy got real mad on the, because I said people who don't charge their cell phones are babies. You know, in the Milwaukee chat, you know, some like blue collar dude, guaranteed. All cranky. Oh yeah, we messed that up pretty nicely. Give it a couple of wackadoos and we'll have to jack that one up pretty good. Okay, so that goes like that. So I'd put the washers in backwards. I thought they should go that way, but they send them on the thing backwards. Okay, so this, we're gonna go short. We're gonna go inner. I need a 15 and a impact and let it rip. shorten this up. And so then it says to go bolt. A large spacer goes against the so this cone goes against here. That makes sense. That makes more sense. Now it seems to fit better. That's pretty. Okay. So we're at 90 degrees. Leave our jam nut undone. Our jam nut down, I can see 1, 2, 3.5 threads. This.
Here's an idea for you, Matt, from Matthew in the chat. There are air escapes in the lower outer part of the trunk. You could maybe run the reservoirs through those into the trunk.
But the question is how much room can I fit that 2.5 inch thick reservoir in there?
And then, what's your plan with the steering wheel? What's going on there?
S2000 wheel. Just make sure that our things aren't bound up. Say 15 and a 17. So this should have been the easiest part, turned into the longest, hardest part. Nice. Okay. Do the other one. So you can see what I'm doing here. These things flip around. Make sure I can see 1, 2, 3.5 threads, so they're the same length. It goes on like that. So this part here, the fat part goes on the bottom and the skinny part goes on the top. Man, I should start reading directions more often.
When you got a video game and started playing a video game, did you ever read the instructions or just jump right in?
Oh no, just go. Let's roll. God, that looks so good. Why does my sway bar look like it's upside down? Let me see. No, I guess that's right. Who knows? We'll find out some other day, some better day. Pretty awesome though, this whole thing.
Can we expect to see a video anytime soon about your driving, your reaction after doing this?
Yeah, oh definitely.
And C-Mac wants to know, what's your go-to Chick-fil-A order? Then I'll tell you the right answer.
Number
here in a minute,
one.
C-Mac. Number one, fries, Coke.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
No.
Depends on if I'm on the
Yeah.
wagon or not. But like if I eat what I want, then I'd get a 12 counts, 2 number ones, a couple of lemonades because I don't want to go have it refilled, so I did 2 of them. Ice cream, eat Kate's ice cream. Let's keep rolling.
Today's live chat is longer than a GT4 second gear, says Sam. It's pretty long.
The heck.
Are you still liking the mountain bike? Are you ready to sell it?
Oh no, I love that thing. I rode it here today. I'll let this thing go in. That's pretty. That is pretty. I'm pumped for this. Yep. Now the bolts don't seem as long. Seem a bit more appropriate. Let's check our tightness. I feel like, I guess I did the other side faster because I didn't have the sway bar to deal with.
Do you have any plans for the gauge cluster? The S2000 cluster would look nice to go with the steering wheel.
No, I like the stock one a lot. I really like the SI, that black bezels. All right, sway bar's loose. I mean the end links are pliable and loose. Let's put our pads in. So let's lower this thing. Sad I can't use those spoon rotors. I mean, I guess they're just Honda rotors, but these here, they call them 14-inch, but they measure 13 inches. But this is what I was planning on putting on. I mean, it would rust over eventually, but no dice. Isn't gonna work. I don't like it there. So let's put our pads in, then we'll put our rotor and caliper back on. And then so you gotta make sure that this is straight up and down so that your pad will fit in properly. Push your pad up and in. Pain in the butt to get it to go in evenly.
How low are you planning on going with the Civic? Any more lowering happening here?
As low as I possibly can and have everything fit. So, half a finger gap or less. Get those pretty looking yellow pads. Come on, bro. Get in there. There we go. Goes our pad. Let's make sure that this thing is not tangled up in our brake lines. I'll hit that with the spray paint afterward. This thing goes back on. Like so. Shoot. Slide that back around. It's best to put the bottom one in first.
Any updates on the pressure washer you spoke about recently, about the kind of the budget but still good output that we had run across?
No, I gotta call him and ask him. Yeah, so no updates yet. Just kind of set that in there. Let's put these in place. And it'll hold everything in there. It's pretty. Okay. Get my second bolt up on the top. And we'll put our second coat of black on. Bolt does not fit in here very easily. You have to snake it past the e-brake cable. There we go.
Here's some input from Sam you may like. If able to be sourced, an EK9 Civic Type R cluster also has the black dials, and the gauge's redline may match the new engine's actual redline depending what cams LHT does, if you care about that sort of thing.
Yeah, but then it's in kilometers. And you also don't have the proper mileage on the, that's why I didn't buy the spoon cluster, because I wanted to keep the correct mileage on the car. So 14. If I can get that on there. Couple of Matty Uggas. Made a 14 millimeter. What are you saying?
You about done on you?
Almost. I gotta put another coat of black on. I gotta do the brake line. Gotta tighten the top.
You put this one on that way, but that one's facing the other way. The sticker.
It only goes on one way.
You have to take the sticker off that side and put it on here. Then it'll match.
Shoot. That is not on right. I'll loosen this up. Took the sticker off. It's gonna fall off in about 10 minutes anyway. Oh, I gotta tighten the sway bar up. Forgot about that. There we go. Now it's threaded in. Okay.
In the comments I saw was pretty funny. It's like $120,000 Civic painting with like Home Depot $1 paintbrush.
Not even Home Depot, that's from Amazon.
Got to cut back where we can.
Okay. Bring it up. Swap out our brake line and we're done. You guys are about to lose your crap when you see what I'm about to do right this second. Do one of these deals.
The overspray, man. The overspray.
It's all right. I'm okay. I'm very practiced. Okay, so now bring this thing under here. Bring this back right there. Here's our spoon brake line. And what I've figured out works best is if you put it on the bracket first and it doesn't get all bound up. So there's a little 12mm bolt that holds this on the bracket in the back.
Pancake Sauce wants to know here, will the winner of the Civic giveaway also get the hat that you wear backwards on the Civic video?
No. It's a special edition Porsche hat.
You can only wear it backwards. It won't fit forwards.
Okay, we got to get this clip off, which is a pain.
And Samuel says, tighten that sway bar when you're done. He forgot about it once already.
All right, let me do that right now. There's your Mustang, bros. Can you hear it? IRL suspension.
TV show. Something like a reality talk show. IRL.
TRL, Bryce.
TRL. Dang.
TRL, Total Request Line.
Whatever.
TRL's a little before your time.
Yep, Dan notices here in the chat. Is Jeff cutting out early again?
Where is Jeff going?
Had a reservation he didn't know about for dinner.
With whom?
Some girl.
No way.
See, every time he says he has a date or a girl, we know that's a lie.
His best friend.
Oh boy.
So you know how that goes.
I don't know how that goes, but
I mean, you can imagine how that goes.
yeah, there you go. Do we need to get into this philosophical thing again? When I explain to people that dudes do not want to be friends with girls.
See, if Jeff's gonna lie, he's gonna come up with something better.
You know what I'm saying? Am I correct in this, people?
I'm 100% with you.
There's no dude that wants to be friends with a girl.
A Chick-fil-A girl, says Jason Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah, a reservation at Chick-fil-A downtown Orlando.
man.
Jeff met that one Mustang girl and he got so disappointed when she found out she had a boyfriend. He's like, ah.
Mustang girl and a Chick-fil-A
He
girl.
went to that car meet with her. He's like, nope, she's dead.
Oh,
That's
Jeff.
good. You don't want to be friends with some girl. What are you going to do? It's a waste of time.
Relationship tips with Maddie.
You know how many friends that I have that are girls? None.
Only a sausage fest for Matt. Okay. Always.
Let's see. So we got to reuse the OE bolt. Make sure you take the washer off. Throw it in the oil bin. Turn this thing around. Put the other washer on the other side. Screw it in place. Making sure you don't cross thread it. Stainless steel lines aren't the easiest thing to deal with. What's going on here?
Wait a minute, Matt.
What?
So I'm friends with Lydia, Kyle's wife, so I'm not
No, you're not.
Yeah,
You're not really friends with her.
I'm not really friends with her.
No,
It
you're
happens.
friends with Kyle. You better not be going to hang out with Lydia by yourself.
No, I hang out with them as a couple.
Well, that's fine. It's because you're friends with Kyle.
Exactly. So I'm not a friend with like. He just happens to be his wife. Is just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, James wants to know what song are you excited to blast in the new stereo? What's
Hotel California.
Yeah, Hotel California is kind of the standard song to deal with here.
Anything else?
I don't even like it, the Hotel California.
the
but-
Heartland theme song?
Really get like some Tom Sawyer going?
It ain't cool.
It
Ain't
Big
good.
Circle.
Yep.
Who stank?
Nah, not really.
I
Wu-Tang.
hear that pop up though.
Well, that just comes on like the Spotify playlist. But yeah, Hoobastank was a thing, in 2000 when I had this. That was I'm sure that had that CD in there. It might have been on that, that old picture that I have. All right, so I got to take this really annoying little bracket off. How is it my tools? They're always all nice and neat and organized. They start out that way. And it turns into a bomb. Like a bomb went off. What are you doing over there, Bryce?
Put these caliper pad things in here for you so they don't fly out.
Oh. This thing is such a pain to get off. Got it. You gotta take this little clippy thing off. Ah, shoot, I shouldn't have taken that off first. Somebody's yelling at the screen here. I'm gonna move this in place.
Like every 10 over here.
Loosen up the top flange.
Christopher asked a good question here in the chat. What's the oddest thing you've ceramic coated?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've really done anything exciting.
12-pack of nuggets?
Huh?
A 12-pack of Chick-fil-A nuggets container.
The bike.
Yeah, my bike's all ceramic. My bike is all coated. Okay. Very last step here, and then we'll put a little coat of black on the caliper. Probably put 2 on, 2 coats. Let me get this brake line off. Not cooperating. Jeez. Go. Let loose. And then we'll put our spoon. Make sure we don't have any binding. And we got stainless lines back here. And so the spoon doesn't clip into the location as the same, so I'll have to put a 17 mil on here once it starts to get tight. And I do have the proper wrench for this, I just don't like it. So I'm just using a regular 10 mil. And of course we got to bleed everything and all that too. And then the spoon is a 17. Get this thing on. I need a different 17. Twisting my line here.
What's the typical day-to-day playlist when you're working, Matt? Do you have your own Spotify list?
I do not. You know, like 90s, whatever, Tool, Seether, Chevelle, Perfect Circle. That's the typical Mormon deal. What the? Get on there. It won't frickin' fit. The brake line's all bound up. Which way does it need to go? Why did I not have this problem with the other sides? God dang it.
You're getting people excited here with the Rage brake job.
Rage brakes.
Mm-hmm. People getting their popcorn.
Let's freaking go. It just freaking won't fit. Oh, I'm gonna smash something. Just freaking work. Stay there. Okay, stop freaking binding up my darn thing now. Get in there and stay in there.
He's getting.
How did I not have this problem with any of the other 3? Just won't fit.
MX304 says he likes the wash and talks, but loves the rage and wrenches.
Careful, people. I'm in a very fragile state right now. I'll freaking kill somebody.
Wrench and rage, rage and wrench.
All right. Rage and wrenching, yeah. Screw all of you. That's done. You're gonna have to wait till the next video to see wheel installs. So this is all you get here today. I've got to be the only idiot on YouTube doing brake line installs live. Boom. Spoon brakes, lines, pads.
People in the chat seem to prefer Angry Matt.
Should have taken 8.5 seconds to do. Instead, it took me freaking 45. Look at that. Put the little spoon up there up top so you can see it. So I get credit for it. Take these gloves off. Fire them. I quit. I'm not even painting the rest of this. I'm done with you people. Done with everything. If I paint it right now, I'll just start slopping paint everywhere. Yeah, and then we gotta figure out where we're gonna put this guy. And we'll have to work on ride height and all of that. Yeah, that sucker's gonna go right up in there. We'll have to figure out how to tie this up. I just don't think there's any hole in the car that's gonna be big enough to fit this up in there. Why don't I just put it right here on the sway bar? The sway bar doesn't move. I don't know. We'll figure that out some other day. Get me out of here. Shut it down. See you guys on the next one.
Thank you all, Little Honda Bros.
Peace out.